Hi guys, it's about 12:34 right now here in New England. I'm Stephen Boyle. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on across the country, and I am actually going to start focusing in my weather on the whole country, not just our region now, since I have been getting views on my Facebook page from people across the country. So I'm going to do that here. I think some people would probably appreciate that. So talking about what's going on across the country here, we do have some extensive heat, dry weather out into the west. That is because the area of the warm air that we had here in the east has now shifted to the west. So really we have a reverse effect of what was going on here across the country. It's really reversed here. We have what the west was seeing last week, and now the west is seeing what we were seeing. And the areas that are seeing the wettest conditions are the southeast. Also, some areas across Pennsylvania tonight. Really, if you want to be technical here, the wettest region is where a flood advisory has been issued into portions of New York and northern New Jersey along 287 here. Just once you pass over the New Jersey border, there have been some really there is a cluster of showers that are really coming down very hard. And also tonight, along I-80 in central Pennsylvania, there is some heavy showers that are moving through. Also a lone shower that's just north and east of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and also a few scattered showers just to the north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Also some wet weather going on across portions of North Carolina tonight, and still some flood warnings associated in these two areas where there was an extensive rain event that happened, or thunderstorm event that happened into central portions of Minnesota the beginning of the month. That is, they are still trying to recover. Rivers are still recovering from that particular event. Rivers are still recovering into northern Florida from the from Tropical Storm Debbie, which dropped down a foot or more of rain. Some localized regions seeing 26 inches of rain. Imagine that. So that's what's going on across the country. Fairly quiet, calm here into the northeast. Maybe eventually this cluster of showers could start to move into Connecticut, but we'll have to see how that works itself out. Let's take a check on the models right now. Essentially, this area of high pressure is going to sort of start to broaden out in the east, and what that's going to do is that's going to create some warmer conditions for the east a little bit later on Thursday. Tomorrow will be warm, but not extensively warm here in the east, which will therefore create some locations to see very warm weather. Some regions will see close to 90 degrees on Thursday. Tomorrow will be into the mid-80s. Then on Friday, we do have a shot into particularly Boston, Providence. Particularly Boston is really, at least at this time in New England, the warmest city, which could hit 95 degrees on Friday. And also, if you want to also talk a little bit more about the heat, also the Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts could be fairly warm. Temperatures anywhere between 91 and 95 degrees. However, 95 will be in exactly Springfield. You move just a little bit to the north, or just a little bit to the west, or just a little bit to the east, and you will see cooler conditions. Also, in the meantime, still wet on Friday down into the down into the southern portions of the country. Now, there is a possibility that a front will start to develop and come through the eastern portions of the country on Sunday, and that will cool things down a little bit. Saturday night, Sunday. So here is what's going on here. This is Friday's map again. Very warm. You see this front that starts to form, and this is on Saturday evening. This is I think this is Sunday morning. Hold on a minute. Let me see. I want to just check out. Okay, this is okay. So this is early. This is very early Sunday morning. And of course you can sort of see that by the time it hits the coast it sort of dies out, but again we will be watching out for that, and essentially by the time that happens we will start seeing some cooler conditions from this low up in here, and that's actually going to be able to drag down some of the cooler weather into New England. And what actually is going to happen is we have a front right in here. The area of high pressure that we did have is here, and now influence from Canada, which is good because we have cooler weather. So that is very good news by the beginning of next week. Now, this is what's going on according to the GFS. There's that area of high pressure for Friday. Very warm, temperatures into the 90s. There could be a possible pop-up shower thunderstorm on Friday night because of the heat-in that we had during the daytime. We'll have to see if that happens. There's that front that moves through, some showers, thunderstorms, rain, maybe, I don't know, clouds on Sunday. What actually starts happening is our influence from the high pressure starts getting a little bit more weakened here. We start seeing a little bit more of a weakening effect from this, and then really you see this area of high pressure really start to get pulled out. See how it's like this and then it's now like this? That's because that front is pushing that high pressure away, and now we are starting to see more of an influence from Canada. It still could be a little bit on the wet or rainy side because there is this low pressure system. We have a front right in here, so we'll have to see how things sort of pan out. But essentially, you see that low pressure, or this low pressure, move off to the north and east, maybe affecting portions of northern Maine. That high pressure starts to move away. We have some areas of low pressure in the central portions of the country. There could still be continual effects from these little low pressure systems that sort of develop, and there could even be one that really develops over New Jersey and could possibly affect the mid-Atlantic, including Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and also parts of Connecticut and Massachusetts with some heavier rains. We'll have to see about that. That would be sometime by the middle part of next week. And then of course that would move out. We see some continual cool weather for quite some time, and then we get a very interesting trough that develops by around the 23rd. That would stick around for a little while. Then we get some warming. We get a little bit of warming, and then that trough moves out, and quickly we get a front that develops right in here. This will be a very brief lasting warm spell, probably a couple days. This front will move through, and you can quickly see how fast this front is moving. This is a very fast moving front. You can see this is the area of high pressure that builds in. This will be heat. All right, this moves in, and then you can see how quickly this front moves. By the time middle part of Thursday the 26th moves around, this is almost hidden into New York. So so that'll be what's going on across the country for the next 15 days. I do briefly want to talk a little bit about what's going on across the country right now when it comes in terms of the past 6 months. Above average. However, here in New England, we have not really seen record. This is not the worst year that we've ever seen, but it is record when it comes in terms of above average. But essentially, here in New England, per se, we have not broken records a lot more than other regions, but we have had a very warm year. This is going to be a very interesting segue into what's actually going to happen during the winter, because it's actually this warm weather and this dry weather that we've seen over the course of the past 6 months that will actually make way for a cooler and more snowier winter this year. And that's sort of what I'm going to talk a little bit about sometime this week or next week with my winter forecast. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with that. I may actually even have to put out a whole half hour for that. I will probably do a video, and it will have to be at the most 15 minutes. But when I do my actual, I will also do a radio show that day, and that will probably be where I do contribute a whole half hour to my forecast here. So forecast number 2 for the winter will be coming out sometime this week or the beginning of next week. So I hope you guys stay tuned. I will be back. I will be back tomorrow with another update. But for now, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will be back tomorrow. Take care, everyone.